This is a 1 mile square town that we can't get along. And,
light pollution is a terrible thing. One thing.
Well, it's not just a light, I mean, it's shining into my house. I mean, I can do hand puppets inside my house. And it wasn't that way when I bought the house.
Does the mayor talk to me?
Anyway, that happened after you moved in, right?
It happened after, about a year after I moved in. I was like shocked, I'm coming from the second bedroom back.
And they tell me they save energy, they actually save energy, but they're twice as bright as the lights. The LED, big LED thing.
Why don't I see that on my electric? Well, that's a sound good.
I just feel like those days.
I heard him.
Ouch.
Imagine that house is tough to heat. Oh, there's got the same problem. You heat your house or you
We just we had a heat system in several years ago, and we just activated this year, you get old, and you can't move as fast and all that kind of stuff. No weather bothers you more, especially grandma.
The Gates give you a discount when it comes.
Okay.
You don't pay Gates for that?
He didn't own it anymore, he still.
It's still there, yeah, it's still there.
I think they have a car still, he say, I don't know how to buy it.
Yeah, local boy runs Natchez Heat and Cooling, and they do wonderful work, but boy, they're proud of it too.
Yeah, no, I use them because they come from
Come in your car, they sure will come.
yeah, so I've heard it's a little more expensive. Good work.
Check it out, it's Jay,
He's not there anymore. No, he was a good guy. He knew his stuff really well, but oh my gosh, every time he lectured, this house is not energy efficient. I was like, duh. Did you go to school to learn that?
I think I already want insulation.
Yeah.
He knew this, we worry about that now.
Downstairs and bottom stairs. That one, we ran gas to everything, so. Good evening, John. I was thinking back on this. Before Michael died, we were in hospice. And in that, due to the crime in Woodville, we had a whole week and a half. The nurses refused to cover it. They were directed by the Fossville, who has and then they were looking at and well, we had one guy on the loose killing people, and it took about a week for me to be able to convince them that we were back up in the safe.
Yeah.
They said, we're not coming to work. I said, what do we do? What do you want us to do? Well, it just kind of, let us know to do it in Bibles and all that, but, and I said, you gotta be kidding. They said, no, we, until the shooting stops. No. You think it doesn't affect anybody, but, it's hard to do. You don't hold it over the shot.
Oh, yeah, that was painful,
They talked to these kids, they were shot through the house. I mean, once the killer on the loose. One more go shoot
All right, so, we were waiting on, the newspaper, he made it. It's 5, PM, January 2nd, let us begin our scheduled board meeting for the town of Woodville, Mississippi. Is there a prayer?
We're gonna let the city clerk.
We bow our heads. Most gracious Father, we come before you, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to be here, Lord. We thank you for allowing us to enter into a new year, Lord. Thank you for blessing our family, our friends, and our loved ones, Father. We ask that you bless those who have lost loved ones, that you'll bring them peace and comfort, Lord, during this trying time, Lord. We ask you, Lord, as we enter into this board meeting, God, each of us put self aside, Lord God, and we ask the Holy Spirit, Lord, have his way. And Lord, let your perfect will be done, Lord. Lead and guide and direct us, Father God, that things that we think, say, and do will be according to your divine will. Keep us, Father God, we do ask. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hey,
Looks like we need a motion to approve, the minutes.
I make the motion.
Is there- I'm sorry? Okay, Gene made the motion, Ms. Bailey seconded, or whichever one y'all like. We do have a second, all in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
I don't see Mr. Fosselman.
Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Can we go ahead and get a motion for the paying the bills, and then we need to go ahead and get those bids, too, just in case we run out of quorum.
Okay. In reference to, approval to pay the bills, as funds become available, is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Okay, Gene, is there a second? On approval to pay the bills as funds become available.
Lewis, second.
Okay, all in favor say aye. The other thing you wanted to mention was what, the town thing?
The bids.
Open those, go ahead, open those now.
Well, we can go ahead and do the other things that we, kind of alluded to earlier,
Okay,
the road tax allocation to, I need a motion and a second to allow the county to continue to do work inside the town in lieu of collecting road tax.
Make the motion.
Gene made the motion, is there a second?
Mr. Bailey?
Okay, all in favor say aye.
And then I need a motion and a second to increase the jail food, the jail, daily per diem for housing town prisoners.
That was just $6.
$6 increase because of the meal cost.
Per person per day.
I'll make the motion.
Lewis made the motion, Gene Lawson seconded.
All in favor say aye.
And then, I think those are the only formal things we do. And now the depository bids, we're going to do those just in case we lose the quorum there.
So we have two bids here, this is a depository bid.
And I furnished both local banks a form. Statutory form, or not statutory, but the state audit comes up with a form.
Would you be able to briefly describe in reference to what this entails? I think I know what it
The
is.
key thing you wanna look at, of course, both our local banks are certified with the state treasurer already. The key thing to look at is gonna be a percentage that they're willing to pay on daily deposit accounts, that's gonna be the big variable.
All right, so the first one is from Concordia, dated today. And,
The first page is gonna be a bunch of acknowledgements that they are qualified, and it should be somewhere like in the middle of the second page.
you're talking about the DDA checking account,
That's gonna be the key variable.
okay? DDA checking accounts, a fixed 2.25%. Fixed, if we're talking about the right one, DDA checking account. The fixed, under the variable column is not applicable. Under the fixed column, 2.25%.
That's from Concordia.
Correct.
UMD.
Correct. Probably set up the same way. Second page. All right, so the next one is with, UMB. If I'm looking at the DDA checking account, it says variable not applicable, fixed 2.0%. With that being said, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we fill everything else out like we should.
You want both?
Yes, please. Typically, what the board does is go ahead and accept both as qualified depositories and keep the funds where it's, most convenient or, without costing any money. Corey's already the high bidder, everything else looks,
The high bidder meaning paying the most.
they'll pay the most. But the two rates are close enough that I think it'd be justified accepting them both as contingencies and leave Concordia Bank as your primary depository for your existing funds. That's who you have your money with now, and it'd be expensive to try to move it, so. And they're the high bidder anyway, so I would just say, accept UMB as a contingent depository, but accept Concordia Bank as the primary depository.
Would you like to repeat that in a way where someone can
Yeah.
make a motion?
Yeah, we're accepting Concordia Bank as our primary depository with UMB as a contingent.
I'll make a motion.
They're good with you?
Oh,
Okay.
So Lewis made a motion, Gene seconded, all in favor say aye. So at current time, we're gonna remain with our bank, who we bank with? We have two individuals here that, I'd like to go ahead and recognize and let them go ahead and, come up and speak. I think I know why Eric's here, and I think I know why Mr. Jenkins is here. Eric, do you have, availability to speak?
Okay, my name is Eric Ceridian, and I've lived in Woodville for over 50 years. Paid taxes here for 50 years. And it's been my home, and I would like to remain that way. But I'd like to see it a lot safer. On the night of, well, actually, it was early in the morning on January 1st. New Year's Day just came in, and about 12:05, this bullet came through my window.
Can you tell me, was it the Main Street side or the Church Street
Main
side?
Street side, yes. Hey, where you going with this? I mean, what difference does it make?
I was just curious. I guess I could ask whoever, maybe filed a report, but I was just curious.
I did call the Woodville Police, and Officer, Dennis came, a big tall guy. Very professional in the way he acted, and, I have nothing but good things to say about it. He came into the house and he took pictures of, the bullet went through a storm window glass, and the glass in my regular wood sash window in the old house. Also, screen wire came through that. And several holes in my curtain. And it probably, just off the top of my head, cost me over $300 to fix this. But if I would've been sitting at my dining room table where I usually sit, I wouldn't be here right now. So, go back to that morning, that night, there were a lot of fireworks being up in the air, that bullet is gonna come down somewhere. And that bullet has no eyes, it don't know where it's going. So, you know, I know it's a lot to ask somebody, I mean, I've talked to the people, I talked to Captain Bailey, I came over here at New Year's Day. I wasn't really sure what the protocol was to file a report, or, he said, well, you don't need to file one unless you're gonna file insurance. So, that's the way you work. I see a lot of fault in that. I mean, you know, it should be on record that this happened, otherwise it's just hearsay. Do you agree with that?
In reference to filing a report or not?
I mean, will it be on record or not?
I would love to be much more versed in police procedure. I learned something new about that, daily, weekly.
Well,
Chief-
as I just said, I came over here to the police department right there, and the lady at the window directed Captain Bailey, a nice lady, finally came talking to him, you don't need to do that unless you're gonna file insurance.
Okay, I don't understand, why we wouldn't take a report. That's your job.
I can't answer it, I'm here to ask, you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I got a court clerk and I got a chief of police that I would like to ask. Is there a recommendation or a procedure that you think we should follow?
There's one in place, he himself, with that particular incident, does not have to do one himself. The officer will do one, but he has the option to file a written complaint.
I either file it or not, it doesn't matter, huh?
Would
Is that what you're saying?
Officer Dennison file it?
Correct.
Yeah, so there's a record of it.
There is a record of it, it starts from the time the call was placed, the report number is generated, and then the report is done and, sent to me for approval. So the report is on file. Now, him filing one for himself, he wouldn't need to unless he just wanted to.
So he could get a copy of yours
Correct.
when it gets typed up.
Correct.
I mean, do you want a report, or are you just trying to ask if this type of stuff is kept on record?
Basically, yes.
Okay, I believe that it is kept on record, from what my understanding, Chief.
Correct.
Okay, and it's accessible to anyone that would like a copy at
Correct.
a period of time thereafter?
Correct.
Okay,
But, you know, all that being said, and, you know, I can go back to 50 years ago, when I moved here, there was hardly any, now, I won't say never, but hardly any crime committed in Woodville, Mississippi. Fast forward to 50 years, and it's a jungle.
so
It's a jungle out there.
it's obviously becoming, it's escalated in the last 50 years. I mean, and sadly it has.
Astronomically, yes.
Right. You know, you hear rumors about it being dangerous to live in Woodville, but I'm thankful I live here versus some other places.
Does that make it any safer here because you don't live somewhere else?
No, what I'm trying to say is, sadly, you know, this behavior is escalating everywhere, and we want to curb it. We would have rather curbed it by now.
We're not.
All right, if I may.
I hear Baton Rouge talking about it on the news now, what they're gonna do with the new police chief and stuff. It's dangerous to go to Baton Rouge. It's hard here.
I don't go there.
I know.
But
I know, I got a
I understand what you're saying.
I got a bullet that came through the apartments up there where I live. Not that night, but it happened several months ago.
Eric, you've been here a while. You spent you spent some time with Exxon, I believe, and so forth. I think you have a good head on your shoulders. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, there's a lot of laws on the books in Woodville, Mississippi. There's, I can think of 3 of them just off the top of my head. There's supposed to be no 4-wheeler riding. Supposed to be no firing a gun in Woodville. And no fireworks in Woodville. You may
I think it's
wanna
no
throw that out.
fireworks sold in Woodville, but but I would love to check on that.
I think it used to be using fireworks. That means making noise.
All right, that is an ordinance I know we could check on, But I know that the reason the guy sells them where he is because the sale of them is prohibited in the town of Woodville. And I don't know if that means that the use of them is also prohibited. But that's certainly something we can check on.
You know, I heard them all around my house, your way, behind, both, you know, definitely in town. And, you know, that you know, I'm not saying you the mayor should be aware of what the laws are, but somebody needs to be.
I really try to become more and more aware of 200 years of ordinances.
There's one place.
Well, I'm actually gonna write it down because I would like to know. I do know that the sale of them is prohibited in the city limits.
I'm not questioning that.
Right.
But I do know there is a law on no fireworks discharge, no firearms discharge in the town of Woodville. Is that
Right. We do know that for sure, and I think that's roughly, what, chief, $1,000 fine?
Somewhere from there.
So,
Well, if it's a $5,000 fine, if it doesn't stop, what good is it doing?
all right,
I know it's a hard thing to catch and prosecute, but it is definitely a problem.
so, New Year's Eve, I heard fireworks till, I'd say 12:30. And I don't know if fireworks today are being sold as,
Selling fireworks is not a question.
but I'm saying, I heard what I thought was a lot of gunfire.
I heard what I know was about gunfire.
Well, I try to go to bed at 9, so some of it kept me up.
I can imagine, some of it kept me up too.
Yeah. Well, I can only say that I'm certainly thankful you weren't sitting, I believe what you said, at the dining room table or wherever. I think we're gonna actively try to curb this as best we can. But it takes an effort on many levels.
I understand that, you know, I talked to like Officer Dennis and, Captain Bailey, and, you know, they said, you know, we'll get a call and go down the street right here where somebody phoned in a complaint. And, they didn't see that, they didn't hear that.
I don't know what the percentage is, but, the amount of phone calls to the police station, when you compare it to how many events, the people are having a hard time calling. Is that an accurate statement, Chief?
You're gonna get retaliated again.
Well, there's also some,
Here, Tracy, what is you gonna call?
well, I'm saying there's also some, there's also some anonymous numbers to call too.
Well, some good, some not so good.
We're gonna address, I guess, what happened on New Year's. I heard it. I think that, with some cooperation, I think we can address it and take whatever action is necessary for the future. But this,
You know, like, Chief, I'm not here to criticize the police department. I don't envy your job at all. I understand, I think you do a good job. I saw you over there, you know, when they had the ambulance at the
Yes, sir.
market. And, you know, act professionally, but one thing I do see that, you know, you got a bunch of laws. Do you know how many tickets were written in the month of December?
yeah, I think I do.
And all it is.
It's presented to me that there was one.
One ticket. So, that tells me that we have a crime-free area almost.
Obviously, we're starting off January 2nd here today. We do know that there are some issues that need to be rectified.
That's a catastrophe way to happen. You don't enforce the law, and this goes for you, chief and y'all. I mean, you know, if you let the minor crimes go, it's gonna just question. You're a smart guy, you know that.
So would you rather us let the big crimes go and deal with the minors, or just to address the issue
I
on
would say none of it.
don't report any of them?
I would say enforce all of them.
Okay, so with that question, you know, there's one officer working at a time. Weldon's gonna call, cause he has someone on his property, you're gonna call if someone who's shot at your house. The mayor's gonna call somebody driving four-wheelers. The incident yesterday, a guy robbed Subway. One officer gonna be in one place, at one time.
I understand that, I understand that. I sympathize with the situation. I could remedy, I would.
Right. I'm saying, I just want you to know the full details of this one
Well-
ticket. I'm really not concerned or have to care about writing a ticket when we have people dying of fentanyl here in town, when we have, crimes against our vulnerable adults and children. That is a big priority to me versus writing a ticket that may get dismissed by a judge for whatever reason. Because we write them, don't mean someone's gonna pay them. I think Mayor mentioned last time, we're $700,000 in the old fine. We can write $100,000 worth of tickets today, that's gonna be another $100,000 on top of that, $700. So now you got $800,000 for tickets. I mentioned this to the board, this debt, I believe we created because of the tickets that we write. Well, the state does not suspend license anymore, they're not allowing you to jail people for old fines or tickets. So we just have to keep giving tickets and tickets and tickets and tickets, and they're gonna keep coming before a judge that has the discretion on what he or she wants to do. You can come before a judge and owe $5,000, and the judge can tell you pay $5,000, and you say, well, I don't have it. Well, he has to do one of two things, either put you in jail or find your indigence to determine whether or not you can afford it. And then you're sitting in jail for the old fine, ACLU come after someone, which is 9 times 10 of the judge for a meeting.
Well, another thing, well, you could do community service, they could polish the street.
Glad you mentioned that. I bought my community service book for these people that's been working community service and hasn't done an hour, a second, or a minute. That falls back on the judge to do a contempt of court, or on them having them brought back before them to find out why they have it.
Sound to me like you need a new judge.
Now, to me, these people right here, you say that again, but thank you.
I'm not aware of your situation and all that, you know, my eyes are somewhat open, but fact remains, we have a serious progress with you.
I can attest to what you're saying, it does not, I can attest to everything that you're saying, and that does not just occur on, New Year's. I can honestly say that my house has been shot into from the, street side through the window to my TV stand, and I was back at my house. Luckily, as you were, my husband was not sitting in the spot that he was sitting, he might not be here either. So the realm of, destruction that's going on is prior to, Chief Rutledge's tenure, and it has been continuing on. So, no, I
So
can't
what do
sit
we
there
do,
and say,
keep going down the same road?
I can't say what to do, but if the whole town citizens that have a suggestion, bring them, and they will all be considered, because one man might have an idea that another man does not have. Because like yourself, I was appalled at the shot that came from my house, and somebody could be killed. It sounded like a war zone, and it was not on New Year's Eve, not like it was the other night. It was right there at my house. And prior to that, I think they picked up about 12 of the cases out of the street that came along with it. So yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. And no, it is not a good feeling for Woodville if you live there all your life. I've lived there all my life, and I understand it too. And if there's anybody that can have a suggestion of what to do, I'm pretty sure this board would have no problem in going along with it. But right now,
So what do we
I
do
can
that keep happening?
complain too.
So my question to you is, you're in leadership roles this now, you're on the board of Alderman. And if y'all don't have any idea, I mean, you see it
That's why I asked you.
every day.
That's why he asked you, what was your when Mr. Lewis published his story, anybody with any idea, bring them, you know, because it's not one man's fight, it's the whole town.
All right, well, you know, Chief Brother just said that he had a problem with the judge, and he directed me to ask y'all, why don't you change judges and get one that's sympathetic with the town? Can you answer that?
I can answer that, let him come in with Judge Dixon, come in and sit down with the board and the complaints that I had, to sit down and talk to them about, even you to come and talk to them about why whatever's not being done.
I shouldn't have to talk to the judge about what he should do.
I ain't saying if you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can come in and listen and see if you have a problem with it. We have a problem with it also. So I'm saying it would be a meeting in which everyone will be able to express what they have to say and why he is not doing what is expected of him as presented by police.
Now, in addition to that, it's not just so much the municipal court judge. A lot of these crimes that are being committed are by juveniles. And if you take some time, I encourage you to look at juvenile law. I don't know if you remember, this was our homecoming parade. There were 2 juveniles that were detained for having automatic weapons. To this day, right now, neither one of them has been before a judge. Nothing is gonna happen because of their age as juveniles. They know this. They're gonna pass it on to their younger siblings and other juveniles. Most of our crimes, since I've been chief, I know for sure, ranging from 14 years of age to 18. It's not our adults, it's the juveniles. And the way we correct that problem is youth court.
At that time too, it was suggested that a curfew be, put in place for juveniles under the age of 18, unaccompanied by an adult. So as far as that being written or being brought back to the board, I think, the lawyer was supposed to do it. I don't know if it was ever brought back, but they were supposed to be, that they were, maintained by a curfew.
I talked to the chief about that, but read some different studies about curfews, what works, what doesn't work, and the chief and I had that discussion. You don't want to punish the whole population for a handful of people that are doing it wrong. He already has the authority to stop juveniles on the street at night. He already has that authority to stop, find out what they're doing and why, without having a blanket prohibition on everybody moving around, so. But it's something we can talk about.
Because most of them would be with an adult, so somebody else has to take responsibility.
So we've established the fact that anybody under 18 is do whatever they want to do.
No,
They can keep doing it.
when they keep doing, that's not what I said. I said, the board, it was recommended that the board, incur a curfew for individuals under the age of 18, unaccompanied by an adult.
The point the chief is making too is that the juvenile laws are just so restrictive on what you can do to them.
Have y'all done that?
No, what are you saying? If he has someone violating the curfew, what punishment can you do to a juvenile? And there's not very many things you can do, that's.
There's got to be an adult responsible for a juvenile. He got a guardian, a custodian, parent, whatever you want to say. He should face punishment.
Well, that's fine to say, but legally, there are limits on what you can do. And that's.
You know that better than I do.
That's the battle we fight every day with that.
But, you know, so we just in a quagmire, we can't get anywhere.
I think we can take certain paths to start to correct this, but the youth, is a huge problem. I would really like to start with with 100% community involvement in stamping out some of this stuff. When the chief mentions, either trafficking or some of the other terms, he's gonna need our help in identifying these people that are pedophile, and some of this stuff. He needs our help. And, those folks that hear an incident, down by where Miss Bailey lives, they need to call. They need to call up here and get out of the rut of not informing the police officer, where something's happening. Because if they don't know, they're simply not going.
I wouldn't step into that either. But you know, if those people don't feel strongly enough about it to potentially do something, what we end doing? I mean, you're just opening the door.
Well, we've discussed certain different ways, you know, to get the word up here, where they would feel a little safer saying something. Also.
Well, you're supposed to feel safe with the police, and I do. And, you know, I'm glad we have the people we do, and I wouldn't have the job for all the money in the world.
So I don't think there's very many incidences of the officer not showing up to the scene of something that's been called in. But them not knowing what's going on, I mean, they simply don't know, to even respond.
Well, you know, I'm not here complaining about officers not coming in or responding, or, I'm very satisfied on that end. But yet still, I mean, it's growing.
Well,
And you know, where does it stop? Somebody have to get killed? I mean, if I would've got killed, what would you do then? Call in some outside agency to follow up on it?
so I think we all feel.
Can you answer my question? What would you do if
What am I gonna do about it? I mean,
What would the Woodville Police Legal Department do about it?
I'm pretty certain there would be an active investigation to figure out what happened.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't doubt that a bit. But what's gonna happen after they make the arrest? I can't give you an answer on that.
How would you ever arrest somebody that shot this bullet?
I think if that bullet was matched to a gun, I think if there was an eyewitness, I think if there was word.
You think somebody's gonna rat somebody out? It ain't gonna happen.
What you're saying is a problem. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I understand that. But, and I looked at this thing, and I've got 240 caliber handguns myself automatic. They're automatic, 40 caliber automatic caliber. And, you know, if you got 15, 14-year-old kids with automatic weapons, how many do you think are out there?
I'm gonna say, I mean, this is an uneducated guess, but I'm gonna say 25% of those kids, I mean, Chief, help me out, what?
I'd say 75% with the most recent.
He can give you a better guess at it than me or you.
Well, for sure, but I'm saying that, I see these kids carrying guns, I can pretty much bet if there's 2 or 3 people in a car, there's 2 or 3 guns in there. Backpack probably got something in there. You know, each of us has to be pretty cautious. We don't know what's gonna trigger these individuals. We actively are trying to get these guns off the street, but they go and buy another one. I mean, or find another one right off the bat.
And go around the corner and buy one.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm a gun advocate. I'm not against any sort. Gun shows and so forth. But, I mean, do we go back to a parental problem? Do we go back to what is it? I mean, I would like it resolved. Sadly, you were the victim the other night. A lady out 24, Miss Judy was a victim. We've had other victims. I think Miss Bailey, fortunately, she wasn't hit. This is an issue that we need to resolve. We need some help to do it.
I'm with you 100%.
Now look, we can make a policy right here. In a couple minutes, we can make a policy. But it is gonna be damn hard to catch and prosecute, convict, and sentence, especially these youth. I mean, the list is this long, what you can and can't do to them. Don't cuss at them. Don't rough them up. Don't put the handcuffs on too tight. It's ridiculous. There are youth now housed at Angola. And those guys that work at Angola don't even want to work in the youth department. There's a bunch of animals in there. Because they know they can get away with anything. And they get away with it. So we need something. Is a YMCA gonna fix the problem? Is some counseling? Is this or that? I need to answer. And I mean, we'll implement that.
Unfortunately, I don't have the answers either, but, just be aware that it's going on.
So, we're very aware, and we're very concerned. For someone that's been here their whole life, 50 years, 5 years, we're very concerned. With the deterioration of whether it's our infrastructure, whether it's our buildings and our personnel and everything else, we need to make a serious change.
You know, like was mentioned earlier, you know, you get a curfew with, you know, with, underage people without a escort.
I mean, at the time, I think that was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I mean, I'm in favor of it. I think Centerville had done something similar to that, just prior. I think we looked into it. I think we talked about it. I think there ended up being so many different variables we had to look at that it just didn't make its way to get voted on. We could readdress it. I mean, Chief, how long ago was that community crime meeting we had? A year ago?
Yes, sir.
And, I mean, why don't we have more meetings why don't we have one of those every 2 months? You know, to report some of the stuff that you come across, that other people come across, and start to work on a resolution. There is some sort of resolution, maybe not to cure and solve it, but to do something. And I personally would like to know what that is. I think that'd be a heck of an accomplishment.
And, you know, change towards the midstream, but, you know, I think there is a law on the books of town of Woodville about no violence.
Okay.
You could look that up and, you know, that would be easy to enforce, or not as hard to enforce, maybe would be a better way of putting it. But, a lot of stuff, like she said, we don't have enough people, and they're stretched, rubber bands in. They do what they can. I don't envy anybody on that.
I mean, the applicants, police applicants across the nation aren't knocking down the doors to become a police officer. Obviously, the pay is not the best. And,
But anyway, I appreciate the time you gave me to speak my piece, and,
I'm thankful you came. I am thankful that you reported the incident. I didn't know about it until I heard from Andy. I'm not sure where I heard it, but I just heard about it today.
it doesn't matter.
But I'm thankful you came. I wish you would encourage many more people to come here. I mean, that's exactly what that podium is there for, is this board is to represent you and move this town forward as a citizen see
Yeah,
fit.
as I said, I guess I'm in the fourth quarter of my life, and I've lived all my life, and I want to live the rest of it here. And it's been a peaceful town for the most part, and, but as time goes on, it's not so peaceful.
All right, so we're in agreement. We're gonna work together to try to find a resolution to some of this, if not all of it. And,
Oh, you know, I run one building today, I understand that.
no, but we need to stop the ball from rolling that way, and get it rolling back in a positive direction.
Sure.
I mean, at least stop it from rolling. So, any help, from anyone in Wilkinson County would be more than appreciated. More than appreciated. It just takes one conversation.
Well, you know, if I had the answer, I'd blurt it out right now, I don't. But,
Well, after this incident, sadly, I mean, I think it's gonna be on your mind. You
for a while, right?
you might be in Meridian and end up meeting somebody who gives you a hell of a workable solution. I'd appreciate it if you could bring it back, and we'll put it in place.
I know a lot of folks on the board, and I would tell them that, you know, don't, I think for a minute that won't be the case, but it hasn't been to that point, but I'm somewhat more aware now than I was
Yeah, and I don't think in any way you would have ever expected that. So,
I think the idea of community meetings, they're nice, but right now, I think the board should revisit the idea of the, juvenile, curfew thing. At least that would be a beginning.
all right, I mean, I certainly think that's if you're not gonna call it a curfew, Mr. Rosenblatt, was any type of wording or discussion had on being able to stop them for any reason?
Yeah, as I said, the chief has the authority to stop anyone acting in any, suspicious way. A child unattended on the street is certainly suspicious.
But I'm saying like a stop and frisk order.
I mean, he has that authority now.
Okay. We're gonna continue to try to get the guns off the street. I mean, it's just very, very difficult, to get them. And then, like I say, and I think Chief repeated the fact that, they're right back out there. It's almost like a joke.
And if everybody came up here and surrendered every gun in Woodville, today it would be a pile of buried in the building. But tomorrow, they would have one or two more guns than they had. It's very accessible, somewhere along the line. The individual wasn't taught as a child or as a young adult or an older adult, you know, what the gun was intended for. And, you know, I think they put the Constitution together, the Second Amendment, you right that came back on. Everybody's gonna have an arm now for that very reason, and not for foreign countries invading our shore. It's from within.
Yep.
This bad element that we have, not only here, Baton Rouge, wherever else. But,
Well, our commitment, and I'm sure we're in agreement, our commitment is to continue to work in that direction in reference to reducing that. What happened to you the other night, and, I think that, I see a chief and one police officer. I think they're gonna continue to work in that direction to, you know.
well, you know, I don't know if I've accomplished anything here tonight, but again, I do appreciate the opportunity to come here and express myself.
Well, I appreciate you coming here.
And, have a good rest of your meeting. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Mayor, can I say a few short words?
Yes.
I believe y'all in the same spot. I've had a car stolen and towed. I've called the police breaking into a car. I can say my office has been kicked in the door, burglarized twice, and cash and camera stolen. My wife had a purse stolen twice and once at our house while she's unloading the road. Both down the coast. I've had several ice chests stolen out of the yard. I've been shooting all around the house, where bullets going through leaves and trees over. And I've had back, robbing cars. I've been hit 3, 4, 5 times. So, and of course, a bullet is worse than any of that, but it's just crimes. For things, and I'm not blaming the police department, because every time I call them, they have come.
Yeah, we're not arguing about that.
No, I just wanna say is, I've lived through it, and my family has lived where I live since 1811. My family's lived in that one spot. I have never heard a single word about crime going back years ago, what we used to do, until by the time my parents died, and it had nothing to do with them at that time, it started. I hope we come up with some things. That's all I have to say.
Like I say, unless you're in a corrupt mindset, I think everyone would be in agreement that it it needs to, something needs to happen, change, be enforced, or be, whatever they say, remit to the file, or whatever, it can't be no more of that. Putting them in jail, that's an invite to go get your teeth fixed, or a sore, or a broke ankle or something fixed. You know, I just think that, I think one of the biggest, you gotta hit them in the pocketbook, or they're not gonna, or nothing's gonna correct any sort of that behavior. Chief, what would you say? What would you say would be a big deterrent?
Well, show of force for one, but on the backside of that, in the town financial report, which is what it's all gonna result back to, even with these juveniles, that we place a curfew in effect, and we find these juveniles, to be a violation. If Adams County doesn't have a bed for it, we have to transport them to Woodville. So, you got that one officer that's on duty, who's gonna have to transport that person. Now, who's gonna cover the shift while the officer's gone on a 4-hour drive? Then, you call somebody in overtime, then it's gonna come back, hey chief, you cut your overtime, how can I cut it? When things have to be done. And that's just what it's all gonna boil down to. Like I said, putting them in jail, we can, I'm sure, me and Officer Harris right now, go out and get 10 people right now, no problem. But then chief, you got 10 people in jail, we can spend $10,000 on feeding them. We got a $3,000 bill somebody has to do to the hospital. I mean, so I just don't know what to do anymore than what we're doing. And, it takes time to get it done. As you mentioned earlier about the Crime Stoppers hotline, I'm kind of overwhelmed with it right now because of the number of tips, but I'm also glad because they're giving us some information on here that we had no idea crime was being committed in. So it's all gonna come to the head, but still, we're gonna talk the town in the end. Nobody wants their taxes raised or anything. Everything's understandable, but it's all gonna boil down to money at the end of the day. The town needs it, don't have it to spend, so. I don't know.
All right. Well, you got a bright light, discussion?
I do, and it fits in with this discussion, I see.
All right, come on up here.
And, yeah, my name is Jensen, not Jenkins.
Oh, my fault.
My dad is Mr. Jensen, I'm Colonel Jensen. Almost not quite a year ago, I asked for some assistance on the light shining in my house. I first went not to you all, but to the people that were doing it and asked them if they could help me. And they basically gave me the middle finger and said, it sucks to be you. I then went to the police chief and I talked to him. He recommended that I come talk to you all. So I came on the agenda, I showed you pictures of what was going on. You kindly gave me Energy's information. I contacted them. They talked to me for 1 month and then they wouldn't talk to me again. Finally got a hold and they said, we're done unless Mr. McCant says something too bad. And what does that have to do with anything we're talking about tonight? It's a pretty minor thing. I'm not gonna die, or is my dog gonna go to heaven because of light shining in our house? But it's systemic of what goes on here, and it's non-enforcement of rules that we have. We have rules about noise, we have rules about ordinances about shining, in nuisance laws here, but we don't enforce it. Now I know the police chief is talking about there's fentanyl problems, there's kid violence and all these other things going on. So are we just going to say, give up? Are we not going to enforce anything? I'll tell you this past year, before my Aunt Martha died at 94, she was on hospice. We had a killer on the loose. That happened, but for almost a month. It took me 2.5 weeks to convince their company that the nurses could be safely back in Woodville. They forbid the nurses to come to Woodville because it was too dangerous. I mean, I do my best, I pray to God not to talk bad about Woodville outside of the town, because we all need to kind of do the best we can to kind of bolster what we got, because Woodville's got a bad reputation for these sort of things. What can be done? I don't know. I don't have the answers to everything, but I know that in other places, they put up roadblocks. They don't roadblock every night, but I guarantee you in Natchez, you drive anywhere on New Year's Eve, you're going to get stopped at a roadblock. There's selective targeting on when curfews are effective and when they're just a waste of time. There are selective areas. New Year's Eve, I start hearing, in fact, it was Christmas Eve and a few others. I live maybe a mile away from an area I think is known as Sugar Hill. It's that area south by the mill where they make the pallets, over in that way, that area that comes, that road that goes to the cemetery. And the noise, I can hear it in my house until late at night. I also went to bed at 9 o'clock. So after that, I just zoned it out. But, and I felt like, well, maybe I should call it in. Maybe I should call in a complaint. But I didn't, because I'm convinced now it doesn't do any good. You know, it's, how are we going to be reactive or proactive? The reactive, the question is, how many fines are given out? I don't know. Do those deter people? They might. Roadblocks seem to deter people, and they also confiscate a lot of weapons. And I don't buy. I live in D.C., crime capital just about the states, and they have these buyback programs to try to get. They buy back all these weapons, and they find out that 99.9% of them are all stolen. The criminals steal the weapons so that they can get money for them when they go to get them back. So, I mean, we gotta look and see, well, maybe that doesn't work. But are we not going to confiscate or search these things? We've seen in other towns where stop and search does work. Not every day does it have to be done, and we're on limited resources. But, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I know my history. It fell in only a few days. In Woodville, I remember Woodville before I joined the Army 30 years ago, and I remember it, and I see it now, and I've seen some other towns around that have dried up. No one wants to go there anymore. But right now, I'm meeting people that are coming to Woodville, and it's really hopeful. And you talk about, it takes money to enforce these things. It does. Okay, raise taxes. Well, that's proven to drive people away. But if we provide some kind of incentives to bring people in, the tax base has come up. And I can tell you, I pay more in taxes in this location I've lived in than I paid back in Fairfax County, which is D.C. One of the most expensive places outside of New York City to live. And I pay the same amount in taxes, county and town together. Is there, I know there must be a reason, otherwise we would have done it before, but it seems like, from what I read, we have a lot of interaction with police enforcement out of Adams County coming to help us here, which is good. What kind of cooperation do we have with our own county? I'm paying both city and town and county taxes. Can we look at them at helping out somewhere? I mean, they're right here. Why aren't they tasked to also help us with these kind of problems? It's the county as well. And I know that's a county question, not to you all, but maybe someone could ask them that. In addition to the crime, the juvenile problems, we found that what really counts is results. And the only way we're going to make people feel comfortable living in Woodville and not moving out is by results. I mean, this isn't easy. This is probably the toughest time I can think of in a period of Woodville to try to turn itself around and get back going in the right direction, if there's the potential there. And I think that's what's attracting a lot of people to come to Woodville, is they see it as a town with potential. But it's tough. I mean, I was taught that you're as guilty to walk away from a wrong as the wrongdoer. When you see something wrong, you're just as guilty for not pointing it out and saying, that's not right. And so I speak out. And I don't know, as far as back to my original complaint with the lights, yeah, they still shine in my face. I have to block off doors so that in the middle of the night, when I'm an older guy, I have to go to the bathroom and you come back and it's wham in your face again, so that I don't see all that. But I mean, honestly, the only thing I was thinking that I have left to recourse on some of this is either a lawsuit, which I don't want to do, or go to the news, go to the 2 on your side people in Baton Rouge and have them come up here and interview a few people, and it'll embarrass the hell out of the town. But what can I do? I feel kind of helpless. Now a year is almost come and gone, and it wasn't that way when I bought my house. But
I thought the issue got resolved. I went with the mechanic 3 times, spoke with all of them, spoke with Energy, spoke with yourself. I thought the issue was resolved, because I haven't heard from you. I mean, I thought it was resolved. All right, well, obviously we need to readdress it, but like I say, you know, I went over there 3 separate times, just trying to navigate through all that and get the lights in a position where they work for them, but work intrusive to yourself. And it has been about a year. And I've seen you a couple times, and I haven't heard anything else.
I've just about given up on everything here.
All right, so
that's the helplessness that I not only feel, but a lot of people I ask, why do y'all put up with this people drive-by shootings? Well, I'm afraid they'll come after me, or I feel I can't do anything. And somewhere we're gonna have to band together and put a stop to it. Because this is either gonna have to stop, or the town is gonna go the way Fort Abbott. It'll be a sign on the road like, you know, Dolorosa was here. It'd be the strangest thing, a county seat that doesn't have a town anymore. But there are places like that. In South Carolina, there were towns, but only, and Seminole similar to that. You go down the streets and it's just a facade of buildings with nothing there. Because they've driven out industry, they've driven out any kind of entrepreneurship. And the crime just, and it's bad. We can point the finger at Baton Rouge. We can say it's bad in Memphis. We can say it's bad in Washington, everywhere. But we don't live there. We live here.
well, I think, you know, a period of time ago, Wilkinson County had what do we have now? Three towns? There was a period of time, there were 17 to 20 different towns or
And
locations.
the population of Woodville was how many thousands? And when I looked it up before I moved here, people asked me in my last town, how big is that town? The Wikipedia, which is usually pretty spot on, cited the census, I think it was 600 people. And granted, it may be just within the square mile or something, and not talking about the greater Woodville area. We've lost a lot of people.
So currently where we stand, what's going to attract people, I think we maybe touched on this a little earlier, is we don't really have the capacity for a bunch of industry right now. We don't have the land or the workforce. We need to rely on a terrific school system. We want that person to move here who wants this lifestyle but has children and has a concern for their children's education. We need to work on some of this law and order to the best of our ability to curb that and not let it just free reign. We understand that, you know, we need to make some changes. I mean, 100%.
Is there a possibility in regards to the like problem that you could send
Yeah,
mechanics
as
up
I say,
there?
I'm like the mayor, I thought that the situation had been taken care of. I'll be happy to get involved and try to bring a little legalese to bear on the situation.
And it's not, I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's just not, but yet it's, because it can go on, you know, it's a lot less, that's not rocket science. Shooting a bullet through the air in celebratory fire. I lived in third world nations. I've been in many tough spots, a lot tougher than Woodville. And I can tell you, people doing crazy stuff like that ends in people being killed. Every year in Bosnia, Afghanistan, and other places where people do this sort of shenanigans, they're left unchecked, and it goes on, and people die. And it's just chopped up, inshallah. I guess it was just Allah's will. But that's not the way we live here.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing? It's nice to see you. I spoke with former educators. I work with a lot of different people. I have a nonprofit. Over the last couple of years, this past year, I started the first summer camp in Wilkinson County for sports and outdoors for children. I spoke with old educators. Where we are now, the ones that are out there in the street that's committing these crimes, it's no help for them. But we're gonna have to start with them small. I went before this board, I went before the board of supervisors, soliciting help to get help for these young kids that's coming up. This generation, there's no help for them. The only thing we can do is pray. It's a nationwide problem. I came before this board, I went before the school board as well as the board of supervisors. Asked me who helped. One person from this board, one person from the board of supervisors. We have people in place, they don't care. They turn a blind eye. I put on all type of activities, we try to do things in the community, they turn a dead eye. They don't care. We're where we are because of the people that have been elected to do a job, that can do something, they won't do anything.
Well,
Anybody, if I'm a lie, call me a lie.
when it comes back to what you just said, our judicial system, it's an easy thing to say, and it's truthful, and that's why it's so easy to say, well, we can't do this because of that, and then the judge, and then the this, and then the that. We're true, the judges don't enforce, they don't even give a slap on the wrist, they might as well give them a candy and say, don't do that again. That undermines the police enforcement who feel undercut because they go out doing a hard job and they bring these people to justice and justice lets them down. They get to where, why even bother? So it's a vicious cycle that, where do we go? Preaching to the choir, we need to vote and vote carefully on people that are going to uphold justice and give our law enforcement support that will then bring about this other way around. But, and we can talk about this, unfortunately, we only have every so often a chance to vote and change those judicial elected officials to people that we can, but we need to start considering that, and people need to be strong enough to stand out like you've done and say, I want to make a change.
Yes.
Because one person can make a change, and prayer does work.
Yes, it does.
So the board is elected as a representative of the town. The townsfolk needs to come and they need to tell the board what the town wants, and the board needs to make it happen. All right. The board, while they do make policy and do make the decisions, they are the representatives of the town. The townsfolk needs to come and say, we want this, make it happen. Now you can make, you can stand there and you can say, well, they will vote as the community wants them to. So this is the most people that's been here in a long time, okay? But there's no argument. If 100 people came and spoke clearly to Gene or Miss Bailey, these folks are going to vote and support their community members, okay? make it happen. Get your community here that says, look, this is what we want, y'all make it happen, okay? Don't vote this way and that way, or how you feel is gonna benefit you, it needs to benefit the community, all right?
One thing the community does have that other communities don't, and that is a fairly strong faith-based, people still in this county aren't afraid to say I'm a Christian. Maybe that will be the strong point to mobilize and organize the churches, the Christian churches, to get behind, because you're right, we've gotta pull together. It's not gonna be 5 people to be superheroes that change the day. You're our leadership, but we have to do something.
I work with Miss Charlotte, I know Miss Charlotte well.
So, but we've got to get ahead of it and proactively get in front of the enforcement of things. And because of those lack of resources, we're gonna have to figure out where do we put our roadblocks, at what day, what time, because we can't do it every day, and it doesn't even be effective. But the curfew is a good idea, but we know that there are certain times and certain events that trigger massive bad behavior. We know that, the holidays are one. We know that the so-called, the homecoming events, that triggers some rough behavior. And it doesn't have to be a police state, but it's gotta be a stronger effort on concentrated issues to try to show a force, like the chief said, a show of force that begins to get the younger people to know, okay, who am I going to be persuaded by? The thug 18-year-old that has an AK-47, or people with good influence? But the thing that's intolerable is this rampant gunfire. I mean, like I said, as annoying, and my property values can go down because of someone that can't seem to point their lights down at their merchandise, and that's one thing. But the town is got a bad reputation, and I'm not making that up. I can tell you, it was Dignity Hospice, a great company, and they serve a lot of our community in hospice care. But when you've got a bedridden loved one that can't get a nurse in because they've been told Woodville's too dangerous, that's embarrassing at the least. I mean, that's like, I'm pleaded with. I said, please, I'll tell you, I'll come get you. It's safe. But the perception is, and I always hated this. I had a commander that would tell me this all the time, and I just drove me crazy. But perceptions are people's reality.
All right, so obviously you and Mr. Pavilion, you have a deep concern for the area. There's a lot of folks that are not here that have a deep concern. Okay. These are some people that care and can make a difference. These are some people that can give some good suggestions. And like I said, you, the citizens, can make it happen. Plain and simple. Come in this room every month. If you want to meet halfway through the month, we can do that too. Whatever works or whatever it takes. We're going to revisit the light issue, like I said. Okay, I mean, I know Energy came out twice, made adjustments. I drove by there. I know my car sits a little lower than your second floor. I thought the issue was resolved. I hadn't heard anything from McCants, and I hadn't heard anything additional from you. All right, so.
I kind of given up and thought, well, what do I have to do next? I've had a career where it was results oriented, and if you don't have results, you've got to move to the next step. And I thought, well, maybe this is move on to whatever else next I have to do. But
well, if that next step, if you're comfortable with that and you feel that's what it's going to take, I just hate to see you spend the money.
I want to resolve everything at the lowest level.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go anywhere below, and that's why I hope the first thing could be resolved with me going to talk to the owner of the lot, well, about Energy owns the lights, I found out. But going to him who controls the, Energy said, we're not coming out anymore. They came out once to adjust them. And it was during the day, so it's kinda hard for them to see, but they told me flat out, and it wasn't the guy that came out, sharp guy, hardworking, wanted to do the right thing, and he was embarrassed when I said, well, will you give me the number of your boss? And he said, no, I can't. I said, well, it wouldn't matter, they're cowards, they're not gonna answer the phone when I call anyway. So, but.
Was he a subcontractor or did you have an Energy trust?
I believe that gentleman, the young man I worked with, worked for Energy.
Okay.
But they do subcontract, the people that come out there and climb the poles are subcontract.
Okay.
But, maybe that's a small thing to get done, but it's just in general, if we could we gotta get ahead of the lawlessness, the kookiness, and sometimes it doesn't, I was thinking about the other night with the blaring music and all that. It doesn't, everyone wants to have a New Year's Eve party, there's nothing wrong with that. But just a police presence to come by and just say, hey, you gotta tone it down. We're not trying to shut you down, we just, live within the constraints of living as a community and see where that goes. And then when it doesn't, well, we're gonna have to find it, now we're gonna have to do something else, but I don't know, and maybe there is a reason why, but why doesn't the county have any kind of enforcement of some of the things? It's all, the only people I feel that I have any kind of redress to for police, or for protection against somebody shooting through my windows or whatever, is our police, the town police, but I'm paying $6,000 stinking a year in taxes to the county. And I know that's, I'm probably preaching to the choir, I may be paying the least in this whole room, I don't know. But why can't we get some help out of them?
That's not offending them, but they're shorter than we are, and they're covering 688 square miles.
They certainly don't have a problem with money coming in. They certainly don't there.
Yep.
So, anyway, I'll catch up a lot of time.
All right.
I appreciate you, and, we'll see about the lights, we've got another year to try, but we all wanna see our town succeed, and we all wanna see these things, we know that this is what's dragging our town down. But, I do know this, when I was in college in the 80s, Zachary and some of the towns around there were really kind of nothing little places. I mean, I'm sorry if I offend anybody from Zachary, but they were just little outlying towns. And now, look at them. They've got the best schools. Also, St. Francisville was not quite the dumps as those others. But what did they do? And it took a lot of time. It didn't happen overnight. But they went from a crappy little place outside of Baton Rouge to a place people are clamoring to try to get to live there. Get their kids to the schools. They've got the health care. They've got law enforcement that is well resourced. And they've got fire departments that will put out a fire before your house burns down. I don't know. And just looking at it, I'm like, what are the lessons learned from those that have come through the same periods we have and are a little bit further down the road than we are?
We were the third most populous location in the state of Mississippi. Okay, at one time we were the third most populous.
Yes.
And at a rough estimate, city limits now maybe 850, maybe 900 people. And we laugh about it being a square mile. And how is a square mile not manageable? So I encourage you to spend some time, and Eric and some of these other folks, to come up with some resolutions. Let's present them to the board, right? Let's make these things happen.
And to answer your question about what they have in St. Francisville, they have Riverbend Station. And Riverbend considered Wilson County first, and guess what happened? They shot it
No,
down.
I remember right.
Yes,
That was
sir,
before you got
that's
here
what
when
happened,
that was
that's
built.
exactly what
But
happened.
we cannot do it now.
That's right, that's
But
exactly
they
right.
do have some things that we don't, we used to have a canning factory, we used to have a clothing factory, we used to have a distributorship, but those are, now what? Those are the past, now what can we do? And one of the things that the mayor mentioned, it's not just here, but getting a workforce that's not on dope and not under felony charges available to man these, businesses that wanna come in. So,
There are jobs here, but unfortunately, you have one person that's holding 2 or 3 positions. We have a leadership problem, and that's where it starts with leadership. You can go to the courthouse, one person got 2 or 3 titles. You can come here with the municipality, one person holding 2 or 3 positions. We have a leadership problem in Wilson County. We got a leadership problem.
and our process is a vote.
Yeah, but,
Yes.
I like to say something too as well, and y'all correct, we do have a leadership problem.
Yes.
And just like tonight, dealing with our board, they're not on the same court dealing with the head. You got one board member always here, you got one board member that ain't here, one board member always getting up, walking out, one board member don't never say nothing. So how can you get some saw, how can the general right get some saw when they're not on the same
Well,
course?
it's a both and, it's not you versus me.
But
It's a both
the
and.
time is separated.
It's gonna take us, and I will take you up on that offer and draw up some policies that might, and it's just me submitting something, but I'll get as many good ideas as I can, and I'll put it down in writing, and you can take a look at it and see what can be implemented, and what's not worth it, what we tried, and it didn't work. But it's the both and.
What you are doing, I've been doing for
But
years,
we-
complaining. I come to the board meeting, complain, but nothing get done about it because the leaders, they're not on one card.
He's right, it's time for me to also not just complain, but come up with, here's some options of what I suggest we do.
You got good options, I have good options, but if the board not,
Let's put them together and see what we
if they're
do.
not on the card, what is my option? Your option is do any good.
They're the board that
So
executes.
therefore, we gotta make sure we vote the right people that gonna lead us, that gonna turn the town around.
But they're the board that executes, we can help them out by coming up with some things, and I'm ready to do it.
Well, I will be hosting
And I
a
know-
summer camp again this summer.
And I know that,
I have several complaints.
you all, Mr. Eric has been here 50 years. It's been 30 years since, except the last 2 years, that I've been away. And I know when I came back here, that it's gonna be tough because the people that haven't been away have been holding the torch for a long time, and they're tired. We can't give up, but we won't.
I'm definitely not giving up on the beautiful.
But anyway, let's make our.
Okay, absolutely. I just encourage you to, look, present your stuff. I can't come up with it all. I need your help 100%. All right. Are we ready for the departmental monthly reports? The street here?
Okay, Mr. Kaufman hasn't been here since August. And I think something should be given to him, whatever, because we have not had a report from the street since August, anything. So, something needs to be done about it.
Right.
Well, I'm concerned.
Utility?
How y'all doing tonight? One thing I have is, Monday report. And on Thursday, I have a special report appointment, so next month, next board, we got to be out some results. And the water well, He always asks about it.
You have my permission to get started.
I need to check or something, y'all want me to do it?
That wasn't, Delane, that wasn't already discussed and decided upon?
Yeah, I thought Trevor was gonna talk to him, but I did, and he told me to talk to the guy who's waiting or something. I did email him, told the board that approved them to go ahead and get started, and asked if they needed anything else. I still heard back from him, if you talked to him since this week, no, last week.
He said it'll probably be Mondays.
Okay. He's probably missed the holiday, so,
Well, it was the guy, my contact was sick,
okay. That's, what's his name?
Joey.
Yeah, that's what, email Joe.
But, you know, when we made the decision that night, you know, somebody, they should have made sure, one of y'all,
Oh, I really thought you was gonna let him know.
I don't think I can do that.
Well, I was thinking that you was gonna let us, since the board had approved them to go ahead and do that, but, you know, because you were talking to him, that's what I was thinking.
Did you check on, getting the street done, or what, how much would be maybe get that done, or by the water plant and?
No,
It's on your agenda.
yeah, I have to be kind of tight, dude.
It's an item.
I take care of it.
You want a board order to get started tomorrow? Well, 2 or 3.
We already talked about that, we already voted on it.
Okay.
We already got it approved, it's waiting for somebody to call them.
We were dragging our feet.
Well, it sounds like we're not really sure, I mean, we gave them permission.
I'm not trying to override.
I understand that, but I'm saying, number one, we discussed it and approved it.
Well, so I was going the right way, you know, I don't manage the funds. So when y'all made the decision, like Mayor and Lane should have came together and contacted Grant.
Delane, you got his number?
I can
Okay.
remember since Trevor told me that they're ready to be ready.
I don't sign checks or make payroll.
I don't know.
It is the business.
I thought we were dragging our feet. The board.
We are number 4.
All right, well, it looks like your water loss percentage is a lot better, so appreciate that. All right, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeremy? No report?
I don't have anything.
It was supposed to be you and me and.
I know there's a lot of questions that they gave the last week, that's what I'm waiting on.
Set up a meeting or something about wastewater,
In reference to,
cleaning and whatever else, Jeremy, whatever we do stuff for it.
right,
Jeremy wasn't here,
right, up at, I mean, right before, up to the holidays, we had that meeting and had the discussion. I have to go up to the prison when these guys are available and meet with Mr. Manoy.
So it'd be you, Jeremy, and Lenore.
Right, and then Les Trail, wants to be a part of it.
The trail said he didn't even know anything about wastewater, so it was just, supposed to be the three of you all.
Well, I think Delane has kind of clarified as far as the supervisory position, in reference to the utility department. So it might be beneficial if Mr. Lawrence could be there. But if not, if nonetheless, me and him.
Supervisor, what, that's what I'm trying to tell you. What's
Say
the
again?
supervisor report for?
He's a supervisor of the utility department,
Okay,
so he's over the utility department.
so I'm saying, what do y'all want him to come up there and do with you?
He's not to come and do anything with you.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out,
He's still the supervisor of the utility department.
and that was the issue, that's been an issue. Okay. So, we're moving.
You talking about the three of us meeting with
No,
Darryl?
I'm talking about the supervisor part. I'm
Um,
talking about the part where I guess y'all are supposed to do my job, that's what I'm talking about.
No,
Y'all saying supervisor, so what you want?
He's the municipality supervisor,
right.
but you do waste,
Wastewater and gas.
wastewater.
But what I'm trying to figure out, where is the supervisor issue coming in
It was
at?
just an invite from Mr. Long to come, if he wanted to be a part of it, because he's already explained that he does not have anything to do with the wastewater. So it was just an idea that if he wanted to come along with, as the municipality supervisor for the utility department.
Mr. Carl done it for 30 years, debating not to cut you off, and nobody go with him.
Well, he said he didn't wanna go anyway.
I got enough to do in town.
He said he didn't wanna go anyway.
But I'm trying to figure out what's the issue though, that's what I'm trying to figure out, what's the issue? Is the work not getting done?
I got a question. You know, y'all wanted me to get more involved. I called Rural Water. I think I brought this up.
Rural water has nothing to do with sewer. Rural
The
water
man
is
up
water.
there, the man up there said he did. I got the man.
I know rural water tell you anything about sewer. That was a board order to check those lift stations, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that was a board order, that come from the board, that did not come, that did not come from rural water, it did not come from DEQ, that came from the board. That was a board order.
Which drive?
And I mean, that's fine with me, if you wanna take it, that's fine, I mean, we had an issue this weekend. What happened?
He wouldn't check them pump the weekend, we probably been looking at a $10,000 loss.
Okay. So you know what? See, people don't know what goes on out here. I invite you to come out. I don't have a problem with it. As far as overtime at that prison, overtime has been turned in from that prison since October. So what's the issue? What's the issue?
we're discussing a meeting.
It was, I'm trying to figure out, I need a supervisor, we need at the prison, I need, for what? And I don't have no problem with it, I just wanna know what the issue is.
It's not that he has to supervise you at the prison.
But Ms. Bailey, I call Fred every time something goes on with that, I let him know.
That he has to supervise you at the prison, is that he's the majority supervisor. But the issue that whatever's going on at the prison, you know, if you need help or what is not being done, what needs to be done, whatever, that was what was discussed between you, the mayor, and the, person at the prison. It was just basically the three of you. It was only if Mr. Long wanted to attend, because he had explained that, and he said several times, that he has nothing to do with his water.
And guess what? Walter North has been told several times about what needs to be done there. Being pretty right there, 17 years have been done.
Okay, but that's the thing about it, the three of you are supposed to sit down and discuss this matter.
Y'all hire me to do a job, and it gets done. If you don't want me to do it, just say that.
Do you have anything that you need assistance from the, prison with?
I mean,
So right
as
now,
far as now, let me tell you something, everything that comes out of that
you
prison,
don't need any help, and everything is going fine, and
They-
that's it.
they came up with a solution, everything that comes out of that prison goes straight to the pond, which is gonna cause a problem in the near future. Simply because it's not being ground up, it's going straight out into the pond. What once was a 10-foot pond, probably is 4 foot now.
No, that's what I'm asking, you need help to get it clean?
No, ma'am, it's going straight out the prison, straight into the pond now.
So you don't need, so that's it.
That's it until DEQ comes in.
So I think she's asking Jerry, what do you need to fix the problem?
$97,000 from the prison.
That's what she, yeah.
So that's why you all need to sit down and talk.
Ms. Bailey, I email, I'll call, I don't know what else to do, maybe Adam's call, she email, whatever, I mean, nothing else to do.
Well, the mayor's gonna be there, you gonna be there, he's gonna be the same thing that you told him, and he told you that's supposed to be done, and you, what you're doing is gonna now be a three-person thing. So it will be documented and everything.
Documented, because I'm not going to jail for nobody.
Okay,
I'm
when
talking
you
to
come,
you.
you talk to the mayor, he was there.
I got folks like they asked me to, and I said, I don't know nothing else to do.
For the prison.
Mm-hmm. Little process, and another company came in and did quotes. I emailed all that. I'm not, you know, I'm still trying to figure out.
Well, the information that you have, make them copies, give them to the mayor, and you go and talk to the warden, that everybody can have everything that you've given them, what you need, what is needed, and what's their responsibility. That way it's off of you, and it's basically off of
I'm gonna make sure, yeah, and I'm gonna make sure it's off of me, because guess what? I see what's going on. You know, as far as these lift stations, it's 18 lift stations. And you don't just walk up to them and see if they running or not. You have to pull the top off of them, and if something's on the bugs, they have to be cleaned. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, do what you got to do. But look at what you pay precision owners when they come out to rebuild a pump and to put it back in. Right at $7,000. That's every time they come out. I don't see how rural water can tell you anything about a sewer issue. That's what I'm doing.
I'm just telling you what you told me.
Rural water can't tell you nothing about a sewer issue.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what was the problem in the beginning, you know. Which I know that's fine too.
So the $28,000 in overtime has nothing to do with it.
$28,000
$28,000 in the first quarter of the year.
to who was $28,000 paid?
That's total, that's not.
Okay, thank you. Cause I know I ain't made no $28,000 overtime. Okay, I'm just clarifying again, I'm just making sure everybody knows that I didn't make
We're gonna be
$28,000.
$120,000 in overtime this coming September.
Okay, well, what do I have to do with that?
We got to trim everywhere.
Okay, well, that's not only utility. See, y'all always talk about what y'all pay out, but you don't say what you bring in. What you bring in from utility.
So, we were told the utility department was a cash cow, right?
Okay.
Okay. Do you believe that $400 and something thousand income, do you believe that that's our profit?
Is that actually what it is?
Oh, okay, let's say we bring in 500, do you think that's our profit?
That ain't much difference.
What about 1.5 million?
Thank you.
Alright,
Thank
here
you.
we go, here we go.
Do we understand what it costs to make that amount of money?
Where it's going?
It don't cost you 1.5 million to make 1.5 million.
Where it's going, that's the question. Cause we have no major breakdowns, we ain't got nothing, so where the money went?
What about the prison on Bakery? No.
We had $660,000 that was taken from the opera money. Plus the 1.5 million and the 400,000, where all the money went? We ain't bought no cars, we ain't bought no equipment, we ain't bought nothing. Where the money went?
And the prison off Bakery is supposed to be a part of cash cow too?
We wanna know where the money went. Everybody
As
talking
far
about
as
overtime,
the prison on Bakery is
overtime. Where the money
We
went?
make nothing.
Where the money
See
went?
why not?
But
We should.
it was a contract from 1985, that hasn't been revisited since then. We make zero income off that prison.
See what I'm saying? Every time it's
Where did the
it's overtime.
$660,000 go? That was taken from the opera money, what was it used for?
$660,000.
Yeah, where that money went to, for
Where
the
that money-
opera money, where did the opera money
When
go?
did we get $650,000?
I don't know how much it was, but where
It
it
was
went to.
$225,000.
Where did it go?
And we paid $80,000 for overtime.
Overtime.
We got $125,000 left, and we're gonna put it in the damn water system.
Okay, that's what you say. But see, that's the problem.
that's what the-
That's the
number.
problem. You say it's gonna go here, or you say it's gonna go there, but it's not what you say. It's what the board says collectively. We got too many Indians, bosses, and we, too many chiefs and not enough
That's what the
Indians.
numbers say.
That ain't what nothing say. That's what you say, that's what you say.
All right, clerk.
That's clerk, that's it. She give y'all a sheet of paper and y'all go with it. Nobody verify or validate anything. Am I lying? Did you read it? Did you go over it? No, you
Yeah.
didn't. You do like you always do, flip through. Y'all don't know where this money going. $80,000 in overtime, who got it?
Cause I swear I ain't got
Who
it.
got it? Where the $80,000 come from? Did y'all verify that? Did you verify it? Did you get the payroll and verify it? No. That's just what I know.
So,
Y'all just signing documents, that's all. Voting and signing,
so
that's all
last
y'all
year,
doing.
it was last year cumulatively about 80,000. This year so far, it's 28,000, it's a change.
Okay, how much did they get Jerry get? That's what I wanna know.
I can add it up, cause I got every one of your paychecks right here. How much extra above your salary?
Please do.
Alright. Cause there's a lot. Let's see here. This is above your normal pay, okay? Every 2 weeks. 621, 198, 594, 621, 552, 759, 534, 552, over and above,
Okay,
okay?
and how many positions do I hold?
You hold 2.
Okay, now, I asked to hold more than 2.
Okay, you asked, I just told you.
Okay, I asked to hold more than 2.
Okay.
But I do
What do you
gas, wastewater, and I help with water also.
Okay,
And I help with whatever they call for cemetery, whatever they call.
so everyone helps each other,
Okay, and who's saying something about it? Y'all the one that's complaining about overtime. When I know that whatever that is y'all paying me, that's not breaking the tank.
So, what
The
is your,
utility department is not breaking the tank, bottom line.
what's your suggestion?
I don't have a suggestion.
So what are we talking about then?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, when we first started talking about a supervisor, okay?
Yeah, all this be talking about when I'm not around.
We're talking about it now. Do you think you need a supervisor?
It doesn't matter to me who.
So why are we even talking about
All y'all can come, it don't matter.
it? Okay, we need,
Everybody can come.
we're supposed to have a utility department supervisor.
That's a supervisor right there.
I know, but what is the problem? What is the question?
Y'all tell me.
They think
Right.
we're spending time.
Exactly. That's what it all for. I want them to say it though.
We got a time clock that was supposed to be in effect, we still not using the time clock. It was an issue with writing time in. We still writing time, we still using the time clock. Y'all took a week's salary because you said that you was gonna get the time clock and working. Are we on the time clock? No.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
no, we not. Did you
Sir?
do time, did you use the time clock, chief? Oh, okay. We on no time clock. That there was money that was spent unnecessarily for nothing, and we still not on it because it's not right. But
So
we on the
we-
time clock.
Let me get something straight, because I think I'm confused. We took a week's pay because of what reason?
Don't nobody know. Don't
Okay,
know. It was
so it
supposed to,
wasn't
it
indicated
was
you-
supposed, the 1 week time clock, the 1 week salary was taken supposedly to get the time for on Sunday to Sunday.
No.
Yeah, that's what we was told.
No, you were told that it's against
But
state law.
regardless of what it is, ma'am, we still not using the time clock. Y'all got together, y'all got a time clock, y'all spent money on 3 time clocks that been in effect for 2 or 3 months that we still not using because we still writing time and doing time on the time clock. It's not, anything y'all put in effect is just not working. Y'all spending money
Is that
unnecessarily.
because you do what you wanna do?
No, I don't do what I
All
wanna
right, hey,
do.
Jerry.
Tell where this money being
Yes,
spent
sir.
at.
All right.
Tell where the money being spent at. I'm tired of being quiet. Well, Lewis said, he ain't been here since August.
got it.
Gas being stolen,
Thank you.
equipment being stolen, nothing being done. Y'all go do y'all job, or we gonna vote y'all out. It's just that simple.
Well,
It's just that simple. Y'all not doing it. So why ain't been put in the newspaper about all this equipment that's been stolen? Nothing being said. Why ain't nothing been in the newspaper about all this money that's coming up missing? Nothing being said. We done had auditors to come here, we done had FBI agents to come here, nothing being said. Y'all sweeping stuff under the rug, and I'm pulling the rug back this year. I promise you.
don't let it catch
I
up
promise
with
you.
you.
It don't catch up with me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it ain't gonna catch up with me. I promise you it ain't, because guess what? I clock in and I clock out. They asked for evidence. She asked for a video. She got a video. Don't let it catch up with you signing checks that you don't know what you signed. Don't let it catch up with you.
I read every one.
No, you don't.
You,
No,
let
you
me tell you
don't.
something.
No, you don't.
Your mouth is ridiculous.
Yes,
okay?
it is, but it's telling the truth. Tell me what I'm lying about.
Miss Adams,
Tell me what I'm
Miss
lying
Adams.
about.
would it be your opinion that I personally am very aware of what I signed?
Mhm.
Okay, Ms. Walker, do I pay attention to every single
Let
thing
them
I put my
talk. You
name on?
leading the witness. You leading. Let them talk.
Don't react to her.
She's
Let them
gonna,
talk.
Ignore her.
Please.
Ignore her.
Tawana, what's the question? I mean, I gave you, okay, every time. Okay, I
So we
wanna be
supposed to
clear.
believe that. We supposed to believe that. They got money missing.
No.
Talk about that. It's all over
What
town.
can you tell me what the
It's all over town.
You-
It's all over town. Y'all
There's
go and
no
talk
one-
all the business all over town.
All right, look,
It's all over town.
let me tell you, that's because there's a group of individuals that do nothing except want to stir it up, spread rumors.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's spreading? Where it's coming from? It's coming from here. From right here, the town hall, then you can go out on the highway, and those people can tell you.
Let her talk.
I'm talking.
You're
You can go out on the highway,
Somebody else talk.
out there the tripping out there the flicks or wherever, they can tell you everything that's going on in the city.
Because,
I ain't even been at work, I haven't even been at work, you've been talking about me up down the road. I ain't been here, I haven't been here since November the 17th.
I'm so tired of that.
What he told you, Derek, I can't go in my office because of you know who.
Oh,
I ain't been to work since November 17th.
I was simply told that you know,
Oh,
you're
you
doing
was-
nothing but building a case.
Okay,
Right,
so,
I want
but
nothing
you
to
went
do-
and told Derek, you went and told him, but this my supervisor right here. That's what he was telling me about, y'all not on my call. Okay, ignore me, right? But your husband in the streets talking about me.
I'm so past that.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you, I don't see any sort of benefit, from you working for the town.
I know you don't, that's why you trying to get rid of the police department. I know you don't.
Again,
I know you don't.
that's such a silly rumor.
Real rumor, you just was out there trying to talk to the sheriff not too long ago.
When
But he
was that?
wasn't there, he wasn't there.
I spoke with him, you
No,
genius.
he wasn't there, you genius.
All right,
What's the blood, huh? I got
Order,
you.
order, can we move on?
yeah, I'm pretty,
This is enough.
Patrick,
Yeah. Yeah, stop this, sir.
say again? Approved travel? Who is that for?
No one has, this is on the agenda, but no one has as far as I know. I said, no one has any as far as I know.
He signed her check to travel, she ain't bring you before the board.
We don't have any travel, I don't believe. Patrick,
You know y'all doing. No idea what I'm gonna work. 2 minutes. Get ready. I'm ready to go back on the facelift for the, fire station, and I got a quote for a sign. I'm trying to get, this is a copy of it, the way the sign's gonna look, so we're gonna have, we can have that, and the quote is on the back of it. It's like 39 something.
is that a town expense?
That's ridiculous.
Well, only thing different gonna be about it, it won't have the lights. It costs so much more to get the lights put in it, but the actual sign, we already got lights shining on the sign, so that's the sign I'm trying to get to put on the station. And try to complete the facelift.
How would you like this across the street?
I need to get it changed too.
You want an LED light or just get a bulb in there?
LED, on everything. The LED, that light that's in that tree, that tree trim, they get that light LED also. But I need to get the board to get together so I can see about it this time, because I really do want that on the station, on the bricks. Instead of those metal signs, this would make it look a whole lot better. And we'll finish our facelift with the station after that.
It sure would look nice. Is that including those lights too?
The light, no, the light's gonna cost way more, so, but that's the sign and the label. So put all that on.
That's the sign backlit?
No.
Okay, so backlight is not part of the quote.
Right.
And the two lights in between the doors are not on the quote.
Just the sign.
Just the sign.
And it's running by the zone?
And they go with it.
That's something we do.
I talked with Clint about it, I showed him the sign. This the way the sign's gonna look. But I won't have the backlight in it.
Some sign comes.
Right. No. But, I'm leaving it with you all. I'll get together on it, go first, I'll approve it. We'll put it with the fire truck, ain't gonna get. That's about it. Other than my get the hole in the ground, I'm still waiting on that. And I'm waiting to see about this line, and then we'll go ahead and finish the trim, and we'll be done.
Alright. What about your internet stuff?
Lane's working on that as we speak. She's working on the internet, laptop, and printer. But all our fire reports gotta be done through the elite system, which they give Jackson, Mississippi access to it. Also, our fire investigator, they'll have to be calling me about reports. They can go to our elite account, they each have their own account, and they can just go to the club and the report right there. Wait, the paper report. We're not good at that. Everything's on the computer. Now, actually, that's my assistant chief, and he's doing Robert Case, he's doing that house, on that computer, which is one also does these. But he does all the reports on this computer, Jackson Mississippi can get them. If you need to email it to, our investigator, he does all that for you. But that's only because we don't have a computer.
Alright. Well, I know we appreciate it.
And a lot
Alright,
of
and
times,
we'll work to, I mean, we agree, and I think Patrick makes a pretty good case, we need our own equipment. If you wanna continue to do the input, you sure can, but we need our own equipment, alright?
yeah.
Now, look, we've got some stuff we gotta pay for that you got. We're gonna clarify that over the next,
Yeah, he just talked this afternoon, and I need to look at this. I need to be sure. I told I'll check when I get out, so.
okay.
Just let me know what it was, I'm pretty sure we should be caught up.
Yeah, but I'll check to see. Cause we should have.
Was it time?
Salt and
Pressure washer.
pressure washer.
That should have been taken care of a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, all that is at the station, if anybody ever wants to see it, it's on engine floor, still looking brand new, locked up in the station. I had my house, I don't use my own personal use, well, pressure washer not coming to the fire station. Pressure washer don't stay in the house. The first time that we leave, the truck roll out, and doors left open, that pressure washer gonna go missing. The only reason I'm not worried about the saws and the chainsaws and the K-12, because they're on the fire truck, so they can't come missing because the truck is gone. And sometimes the guys do forget to close the door. I got push buttons in the truck, electric door. Once the truck roll out, they hit the button, but that's the last thing on their mind, when they're trying to save a life, is closing the door.
So we need to get those pieces of equipment engraved,
They're already taken care of.
not just a sticker.
They're on my inventory, engraved or not, they're on my inventory. The engraved ain't gonna stay somewhere still.
Well, the sticker is just a little bit ridiculous. It's, we need to somehow, put some identifying marks on that stuff if we can.
What good that would do?
It's just, the sticker,
All just don't make me to her, I'm responsible.
no, I'm just saying, down the road, if we were able to locate it and identify it, other than a sticker that gets peeled off, we'll talk about it later.
You got several.
If somebody steal it, they ain't gonna, sit there and not only where they engrave it, not, they grind that off, what you do then?
Well, I mean, we're just trying to protect ourselves in any way that we can, instead of it just being, you know, oh, well,
Well, all the stuff is, she got it all good, it's online, go to count for it. I go there right now, stuff missing, it's my fault. But once you engrave it, I give up on it, it is what it is.
all right.
Alright,
I'd like to make a motion that the sign be approved once, finally, available for final approval.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
So we have a motion on, huh?
Put this money, who gonna install
That's, I'm sure that's installed.
that's installed,
it? Okay.
and also has a lifetime warranty. Alcohol on to that, we got it in the computer, so we do.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Bailey to approve, the fire station sign, when the funds become available. First and a second by Lewis. All in favor, say aye. All right, chief, you, available? All right, Patrick, thank you.
Mike, if you need that, I'm on.
Chief Rutledge?
Okay, fine. All right.
We don't have much except for, I have began finalizing our inventory for the police department. Most definitely, we submitted to the clerk. So as I stated, I'm in the process of finalizing our inventory for the police department, equipment, firearms, laptops, computers, so on and so forth. Once that's completed, we submit to the clerk. To be placed in the file. I have noticed that we are over $100 over on our vehicle repairs, what we budgeted for the year. So be mindful about that. When you don't see much movement. With the office, we have one vehicle that's in need of tires now. And two other vehicles that have been in need of windshield replacements.
What's the windshield, a couple $100? Wasn't that the last one?
I don't remember exactly what it was. You know, I'm hoping with this insurance or something on it, that was about it.
What was the recommendation on the insurance claim, to not claim it? Say again?
Oh, you can bless you, chief. That's right.
We put 2 new windshields in a couple months ago, right? A few months ago,
Yeah.
same cars?
No, one of my vehicles, one of the cars, it's a car. Those
Anyone got any questions for Chief?
Also, I know the city of Nashville made an amendment to their noise ordinance. I'm not even sure what ours even is. But they made some amendments to where they, had certain areas that were exempt from this ordinance. But in addition to such, they purchased decimal meters as well. Just what may be loud to one may not be loud to the other, which was, one of them spoke about that noise, ordinance too. Yes, when we call about these individuals have parties at the restaurant, they even call it now when Octavia has a venue, or when Miss Ravelin has a venue, or complain about the noise. And the problem is it's being stated that we aren't doing anything about it. It's true. We don't hear it, it's not disturbing us. And again, it may not be loud to the officer who's responding to that call. If you get a decimal meter, and I do not know the price of it, but you basically go off with your decimal meter, just as it is for tent violation. We don't write tent tickets because you don't have a tent meter. So I will be in contact with the attorney at the Natchez to look at their orders, or one of you all would like to see, so that would be very, very helpful.
So that's as a comment, remember that club on Franklin Street just caused all the controversy, that's why we had to rewrite the ordinance.
Also, yesterday, we had an armed robbery to occur, sure most of you seen it on Facebook or news media, at Subway. After responding to that call and initiating an investigation, we immediately determined that the suspect for that armed robbery was a murder suspect from Scott County, where he allegedly raped, shot, and burned a 78-year-old woman to death. Just from preliminary reports and video, it appeared that he traveled north towards Natchez, and, he made an abrupt turn real quick, and stayed in the Woodville area, between Woodville and Central. I'm actively right now monitoring flock cameras, with Louisiana State Police, and he is, I wouldn't say close proximity it was, but, shift left or right, he made a turn. He is considered armed and dangerous. With this case and any other case, I'm gonna bring this back to the board's attention, that our police officers do not have bulletproof vests. I asked this when I first got appointed chief, that this be taken care of, which the state allocated money for that to be taken care of. That was 2021. And here we are, 2024, and we keep hearing the complaints from the citizens about what we're gonna do, why aren't we doing anything. They're afraid of retaliation, and these officers, I'm assuming, at some point in time are afraid of being shot and killed. They knew that was potential, possible when they signed up for the job, but it still is the duty and responsibility of this municipality by law. There is a statute on it, that this municipality is to provide the public safety officials with everything necessary to do their job. From firearm, flashlight, ammunition, bulletproof vests, uniform, patrol vehicles. And we have most of it, except the bulletproof vests. Me and Alderman often talked about this once, and he said he was gonna check in with Mr. Benny Thompson's office, to purchase the vests in full.
No, I'm talking to Kevin Butler.
Kevin Butler, I'm sorry.
And he did offer me some, used ones, I told him I wouldn't put my offers in a used. Was I correct or not?
If you brand new ones, would cost the town $1,500, and they were $6,000, $3,000 cost, with the bulletproof vest program, and it still went undone.
So what did the $5,000 buy? Did we get some grant?
That was another one, that was, you can ask him, but I don't remember the last one you used. You can ask him the last one you did, I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure about it, cause, I received notification from the grant writer that we were approved for a grant, and they were waiting on the mayor's signature 3 months ago, but I still haven't heard anything back on whether or not we could make purchases.
So is that something I don't know about?
But the grant, I don't know what the grant is covering, what it's purchasing with it. I don't
No, but
know.
I'm saying, I'm never going to not sign something that I'm made aware of.
You may be referring to, I don't know when he talked about it, but the last, it was that one sheet of paper that was missing from that, packet that you just did last week.
That she was supposed to send us an updated.
No, you did it